guys, it's Kim, Angel Dream Crafts, and I am back with a project share. And this is my DT project for Craft Supplies for You. It's my third one for the month of August. And this time I have made some burlap bags. And I made these because I'm sending out some mail, birthday happy mail and other mail to a couple of people, and I wanted something pretty to put some goodies in, so that's what these are for. And so let me share with you what I have done. I have used a couple of different kinds of burlap. Now, Julie does have burlap in her store, and you can certainly use that for this project. She actually has printed burlap, so they've got different designs on it. And I'm going to put a link in the description box to the burlap, so you can go and check it out. But the printed burlap would be great for things like Christmas or, you know, every day even. I know there's one with stars on it, and there's polka dot ones and all different kinds of colors. So very cool patterns on the burlap. I didn't have any, but I used what I had, but I did use a ton of Julie's laces and trims, so that's an applique, so that's what I've used on here. I also made some burlap flowers, and I think I'll show you this bag first. They're all different, and I've made 5 of them. I know, slightly overachiever, I know, but anyway, like I said, these are going out in the mail, so I wanted to make several at once. So this is the first one, and I did put some photos at the beginning, so I'm sure that you saw, but let me just explain what I've done. This is actually burlap that I have had in my stash for ages, and it came on a roll, and I got it at Michael's years ago, and it's just been sitting here. So this is a very open weaved burlap, and I found this to be a little harder to work with than the more closed weave. I sewed all my bags, but you don't have to sew them. You can use glue, but I chose to sew mine, and especially with this kind of open weave on the burlap, I just found that it might have frayed, so I used my serger on it, and I serged all the edges to keep it together. So all you do basically is take a length of burlap. I didn't even measure any of these. I just took pieces of burlap, folded it up 3/4 of the way, and you flip it over. That's it. So you can make these any size you like. I am going to come back and do a tutorial for all of the burlap flowers that I've done on these projects, so stay tuned for that. So this bag has some gorgeous crocheted trims from Craft Supplies for You, and I've doubled this one up. These trims work so perfectly on the burlap. They just look so nice. So I did 2 layers there once I created the bag, and then I double layered this trim here at the top. This is also from Julie's store, Craft Supplies for You, and this is one of the doilies from the mixed doily pack. And then I took some of the burlap and I just kind of wound it in a circle, and that's all I did there. And then I did the 3 different colors of burlap that I had, so then I just glued that down. I have only really added like simple embellishments like doilies and buttons. I haven't really used, well, there's no bling or anything on these. They're very sort of simple, and I kind of like it that way. I've used wool for bows and things like that because I just wanted it to be really simple and easy to use. So those 2 trims are from Julie's store, and then on the inside I've added more of that trim just to finish that off. And then this piece is from Julie's store as well. And then on the inside here of this one, these are some of the flowers that I created, and I'll just explain these to you. So this one here, I'm going to do a tutorial on for you. It's like a shabby burlap rose, and I've made 2 of those with 2 different types of burlap. And then this one here has got a lace from Craft Supplies for You in the background. And then I took all the burlap fibers that I had left over, because of course when you work with burlap you have tons of fibers left over. I just kind of created a flower effect with that. And again, that'll be in my tutorial coming up. I've used wool for the bow. And then this one here, I used a tiny little doily I had in my stash. And I did the same thing I did with the burlap flowers, but I used a crochet cotton in a brown and a beige here at the top. And I just kind of looped it and looped it and looped it. And again, that'll be in my tutorial. And I created this flower with it. So they fit nicely just on a card. I just put a tiny little dollop of glue on the back, and they just fit nicely inside the bag. So that's going to go to somebody. And we'll just tuck that back inside there. And of course I just finished it off with some buttons from my stash. But Julie's got bags of buttons in her store that would work perfectly for this. She's also got bags of pearls. She has so much stuff in the store that sometimes you forget what's in there. So I went and had a look, and she does have buttons. She has bags of pearls. She's got the doily grab bag. She's got the burlap. All of these great fun things, because I know a lot of times we do lace heavy projects, the design team, but she's got all this other cool stuff in there too. So I wanted to sort of show you that you can use some of this other stuff that she's got. So this one is a little sort of, I guess I call it the wallet, because it's pretty small and it would probably fit like a couple of dollar bills or something inside there. There's none in there right now, but so this is another flower that I made, and I've done the loopy technique that I'll show you later with some wool and then the burlap fibers, and then I cut a tiny little rose out of some lace, put a button and another burlap fiber on top, and then I looped some of this trim from Julie's store. We call it the rope trim. I looped that and another piece of her long crochet dangle trim there. This little dangle here and the one underneath it is from Julie's store, and then I added some buttons. And these are all made the same way. And then here's the inside of it. And this is the other trim that I layered from Julie's store. And then this one underneath here, this one comes in white, but I tea-dyed it. So it picked up the color a little nicer. And I've just layered that, so that's it. And there you have it on the inside. None of them are lined. All you do is just get a piece of burlap and fold it up. That's it. So there is that little bag. Super cute, right? And then this one has little hearts on it. This I made with somebody in mind, and she'll know as soon as she sees this video. I made a burlap flower, just rolled it up here. I used a couple of appliques from Craft Supplies for You. This is the bigger heart applique and the smaller one, and you get like several in a package. So it's a good deal, really. And I put another little doily in the background, and I cut up one of the dangles from Julie's store and just added that to the bottom of the flower here. And some wool. Just made a little wool bow and tied little knots on the ends, and that's all I did there. This was a piece of vintage trim from my stash that I just put across the top there. And then this beautiful, gorgeous trim here is from Craft Supplies for You. I absolutely love it. It's got little embroidered hearts all along it, and I just love how this one came out. It's so shabby, but it's elegant at the same time. And the back I just left plain. I didn't do anything to the back. And again, I didn't even cover up my stitching because I thought, you know what, it's burlap. So it looks fine to leave it like that. And on the inside here, I've just used this gimp trim from Craft Supplies for You at the top and the bottom, and this beautiful trim from Julie's store. And that's it. And you can fit lots of goodies in there for somebody. These make such great gift bags. So they're really fun to do. And then here's another one that I did. This was a different burlap. This one's slightly darker. And I've made another flower here just with all of the burlap fibers and looping them around. And I rolled this little burlap bundle here, and it kind of frayed a bit, but that's okay. And I put a button in the center and a little yarn bow, and I stacked up some snippets of lace. These are all from Julie's store. All the lace on here is. All of this beautiful, gorgeous lace, and this little collar piece, that's from Craft Supplies for You. And excuse me, this beautiful trim here, it's a flat lace, but I gathered it. That's from Craft Supplies for You. And then here is the inside. I just trimmed it off with this trim from my stash, and the Chinese braid and the doily, and the little flower is from a lace from Craft Supplies for You, and then 2 laces from Craft Supplies for You right here. And again, nice and big to put goodies in. These would be great for Christmas, fall, really anything. And you can decorate them anyway, and they're fun, really just like a beginner project, really. They're so easy. You just fold it up. You can use your hot glue, or if you sew the edges up. So it's just, you know, the pieces out here. You just flip up the end. You can run your hot glue up either side, and then you just fold that over. And then what I would do, if you're hot gluing it, I would finish it off. I didn't finish this one off or bend it because I serged the edges, but if you're going to just use hot glue, I would roll that down. Otherwise, you may have some problems with fraying. But other than that, they're fantastic for gift-giving ideas. I mean, how pretty would your tree look at Christmas if everything was in these? It would be so pretty. And then this one is the last one. This is the biggest, and this is in that sort of oatmeal colored burlap, and these are the tighter weaved ones, and I really did like these ones better to work with than this more open weave, but I will use this up. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I'm happy with it, but as for sewing and everything, I think that if you're going to use an open weave one, you'd probably be better to sew this up on a sewing machine, or really do something to make this a bit more sturdy. You could Mod Podge the burlap, and that would stop some fraying, or some fabric stiffener. That would work. But yeah, this is, as you can see, there's quite a difference in the weave between the two. So this bag, again, it's created in the same manner. And I used 2 doilies from Julie's store right here. And this is her little eyelash trim, and I just did a running stitch and gathered it up. Made a burlap rose here, just wound it around and around and around. I did a couple of layers of just yarn here. Beautiful Venice trim here. I did 2 layers along the top, and then a little trim here, all from Craft Supplies for You. On the inside, I've done more of that gimp trim, another doily from Craft Supplies for You, and this was the center of another doily from the mixed doily pack. And then here I've used some beautiful dangles on this one, just because it was big enough and long enough that I could. I've used this crocheted trim, and everybody loves this crocheted trim. It's one of my favorites for sure. That's from Craft Supplies for You. And then I've used some of the new Venice trim that Maggie showed in her video. And that's what this dangle is here. It's a beautiful Venice trim right there. And then this tiny little dangle trim here in the beige, and then some of the cream colored braided trim there. And that finished it off. But you can see, look at how much room you've got in there. Lots of room. Lots of room. So that is my DT project. And yes, I've got a few little mother of pearl buttons here that I sewed on. So that is my DT project for the end of August here. And please do go and check out Craft Supplies for You. And I hope that you will come back when I do the tutorial. Because these were really fun to do, really, really fun to do. So I'm probably going to make a few more, I think. They were quick and super easy to do. This only really took me an afternoon to put these together, so they sewed up really quickly on my machine, and, you know, it didn't take much to Because really, I mean, the flowers are what took the most time to make, really, because these did not take long at all, because you're just basically folding it and then gluing down your lace. So it's the flowers that took the most time, but I mean, it's a simple and easy project that you can do for a quick gift idea. So I hope you like them. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to put some pictures at the end of the video for you guys to look at, a little more close-up of the flowers in the bags. So thanks, guys. Links and everything will be down below in the description box. Take care. Bye-bye.